Good evening. This is CTV News for Monday, June 5th. I'm Patricia Vallone.
And I'm Denise Douglas. Thank you so much for joining us. The president's decision to pull the U.S. out of a global climate change pact causes national and international controversy, yet it isn't stopping local and regional leaders from going forward with efforts to reduce their carbon footprints. At the opening of the Environmental Center in Akakie today, leaders and public and private sectors must work together to combat climate change. Steve Waltz from the Metropolitan Washington Council of Government talks about the effects of the existing Paris Agreement.
Support by the federal government to try and make the types of changes that we need to make to reduce the types of greenhouse gas emissions that we have in our society. And so I think the effect is that we're going to have to do more things like we see in this building here, more things like Prince George's County is doing when they're committing to bring renewable power into all of its buildings. Well, we first set a goal to turn the curve back down. We used to be having greater and greater amounts of carbon emissions as our economy grew and as our population grew. So we set the goal by 2012 to flatten the curve and turn it back down, which we met. Our next goal is to reduce our carbon emissions by 20% below that level by 2020 and then 80% below that level by 2050.
Just today, District of Columbia Mayor Muriel Bowser said D.C. will uphold the Paris Climate Agreement.
The Port Towns community launches a new eco-district this morning. The idea is to expand green, sustainable businesses in the region with tax incentives. Adam Ortiz, director of the Department of the Environment, says Prince George's leads the state in recycling and waste diversion.
This area is really critical. This is a place where there's a lot of industrial business doing sustainable work and helping economic development. But today, this local community is partnering with Prince George's County and the Economic Development Corporation in putting together a series of incentives and helping market this area as a place for green businesses to locate and grow.
And community members also got a chance to view local businesses during a walking and bus tour. Well, a local organization is targeting trash in Prince George's County.
That's right. They call themselves People for Change, and they are about to begin their anti-litter discussion with a number of scheduled events.
Well, here to join us now is Sandy Pruitt with the organization. Well, first off, tell us a little bit about the background of your organization.
Sure. The People for Change Coalition is a membership coalition of over 300 minority businesses and nonprofits. We provide assessment and support, and we do a lot of outreach and education in the community.
And tell us about the discussion and exactly what it's going to focus on, because you said it's not an actual campaign, it's a discussion about this issue?
Sure. We're targeting specific areas that are close to watersheds where there's heavy litter, and we're asking for the community to give us their feedback on how they feel about litter, who they feel that is responsible, and what are some things that they think we could be doing as community to combat litter.
And how bad a problem is it here in Prince George's?
We hear it all the time throughout the community when we go to any other meetings. Litter is always on the discussion table, so we think it's a huge problem.
And what is it? Do people just not get that they shouldn't throw things out in an improper way, or what do you think is the cause mostly of litter that we see?
Well, I think, number one, some of the people talked about the reduction in trash being picked up or the limited amount of trash you can take to the county center when you want to dispose of trash. But also, I think people don't understand the litter laws. I don't think laws are being enforced or advertised, throughout the county. So,
are there specific areas that are targeted for this at this point?
Areas that are right now that are close to the local watershed. So we're doing the Anacostia watershed, the Henson Creek. So specific watersheds in those communities that are in that area of that watershed.
And do you find, even outside of those areas, that there are places that litter tends to be more of a problem?
Yes. When you come up and down, good example, Branch Avenue, all up and down Branch Avenue, there are a lot of convenience stores, liquor stores, fast foods, and car dealerships, because people are throwing stuff out of their car windows onto the highways and the main thoroughfares. So we tend to see a lot more trash going on and off the Beltway exits.
Yeah, back in the 70s, I mean, you remember these ads where you saw a Native American, he had a tear in his eye, and the whole idea changed a lot of the philosophy about cleaning things up and stuff. Are you seeing that we're going backward a little bit in terms of this cleanup effort?
I think we need to do some more education and awareness. I think we need to try to change behaviors when it comes to litter and trash.
And you have a number of events coming up, so kind of tell us a little bit about what those will be about.
We've already had 2 discussion groups and we're excited. Our third one is going to be on Tuesday, tomorrow, that's June the 6th, 6:30 to 8:30 at the Kentland Community Center. And then we're on the 8th, we're at the Langley Park Community Center as well for another discussion group on litter. And let me say, we are partnering with the Environmental Finance Center at the University of Maryland on this project. So this is exciting to be working with them as well.
How long do you expect this discussion to go on?
The discussions, we will complete the 4th one on Thursday, and then we'll compile the information, and University of Maryland is going to put together some analysis of the data and present that to the Department of Environment, and then some action steps will follow that.
And will those go to the public to be able to take part in those action steps?
Yes, that will go to the public. So we are excited that we're engaging the public, and we really pushed that we try to get more of the public engaged. So, because this impacts our quality of life in our communities.
It definitely does. Ms. Pruitt, thank you so much for coming and sharing. And we are going to repeat that information for you in case you want to take part in any of those discussions. Tomorrow at the Kentland Community Center, it's going to be 6:30 to 8:30. See it right there on your screen as well. Thursday, June 8th at the Langley Park Community Center from 6:30 to 8:30. And then on Saturday, June 17th at the Kentland Community Center for a pet waste town hall meeting from 9:30 to 11:30 in the morning. God